Hey everyone, and welcome to another video. So today we're checking out a few products that have been sent out to me by a company called GOOVIS. They did send out 3 separate packages. So this is the main package, and then they also sent out a couple of other little smaller packages as well. So collectively what we have here is a HDMI to Type-C adapter. We have a what looks like IMEA Android TV box, and then we have something that they call their personal extended viewer. And collectively what we have is something that's actually quite cool. So what we have here is we have the Type-C adapter. So this is a HDMI to Type-C adapter. We have the actual media player box, and the cool thing about this particular media box is it comes with its own battery. So you just connect that on like that, and then that plugs into this. This is their GOOVIS Art series, I believe. So this is a sort of virtual reality headset, but the difference with this one is it still allows you to see everything around you. So you can still see all of your surroundings because it's not covering your eyes. So it's literally just sat in front of them as such. So you literally just put this on like that, and then you angle it, and I can still see all around me. So I can still see the bottom edge of the camera, and you would angle these lenses into your eyes. Now, just whilst I get that set up, so the headset itself has 2 connections on each side of the strap. So on one side you have your Type-C connection, on the other side you have a connection for wired headphones. The Type-C connection from the headset would go into the adapter, and then on the adapter itself you have a series of LEDs just here, and then you have a power button on the top. So if I press the power button, those LEDs have come on, and that should now have powered up the whole unit. So what I can do now is just drop this in my pocket. If I take the caps off each of these, you can see that the LED has come on. So you can see that flashing just there. And if I pop this on, in fact, I might even be able to show you. So if I cover, it has a little proximity sensor just there. So if I cover that, you should be able to see that there is something loading inside there. So what I'll do is I'll just pop it on and we'll take a look. So right now it is on the home screen. So I'll try and capture that with a macro lens or something from my phone, and hopefully that should be able to show it. So essentially this is the setup. Now alongside that you also get a sort of remote, because this is just an Android TV box. And the cool thing about this particular headset is, as you can see, I can still see everything around me, but I can actually still see the screen as well. So the screen at the moment is kind of hovering up here for me. Now, one of the things that I saw advertised and a lot of other people kind of commented on was the fact that this is supposed to give you a virtual 100+ inch screen. Now, as you can see, we're in my home theater. I have a 120-inch screen behind me. So I'm well used to what a 100+ inch screen actually looks like. Now, straight away for me, this does not look like a 100-inch screen. The screen itself is very, very clear. So you have 2 little monitors, and on the side of each lens, you have a little dial, so you can dial in the focus depending on your eyes. You can also pull these in and out just like that, and that allows you to get the spacing right to where it's comfortable. On the top, on the left hand side, as I'm looking at it, you have a volume slider, so you can turn the volume up and you can turn the volume down. And on the right hand side you have a brightness slider, so you can turn the brightness up and brightness down. When you've got this on the brightest setting, even in broad daylight, I can still see the image perfectly fine, and that's even with like a sort of black background that you get with Android. Now on the right hand side you also have a second button, or a third button I should say, and that enables and disables the 3D mode. Now that for me alone is one of the reasons why you should buy this particular headset, because the 3D on this is probably one of the best that I've ever experienced, because you don't get any of the eye fatigue, because it is literally each eye that is getting a separate image. It will do side by side 3D, and because of how sort of pixel dense the image is, it means that you're getting a really crisp image. Now the one thing for me is it seems small. So for me it looks like probably a box about that big So in terms of where we're stored at the moment, obviously the further back you go, the bigger this image is going to look. But for me, it doesn't look like a 100+ inch screen. It's clear, don't get me wrong, because you're looking straight at it, it doesn't give you that effect of when you're holding a smartphone and you're looking down at it, where it causes eye fatigue. So this, you're just looking straight and that screen is kind of just hovering there. The one thing that is kind of bad is every little jitter of your head will obviously move the screen image as well. So this just stays there in a virtual space. It is literally a moving image. So as I move my head around, I am also moving that image around, but your eyes do focus in on that very quickly. What we'll do is we'll just quickly play one of my videos on YouTube and you can see what the audio is like. So I've just clicked on one of my YouTube videos and this is what the audio sounds like. A proper idea in terms of what they're like to live with and the durability and things like that. So let's kick things off with the entrance to the home theatre, and this is not necessarily needed, but it's just a little thing that I found. I believe it was on. So the image itself is very sharp. I believe it only goes up to 1080p, which is still more than sharp enough. Actually no, it does go up to 4K. So on the YouTube app that I'm on at the moment, it does actually allow me to put the quality all the way up to 4K, and that is actually playing back as well. So let me just take another look at how that looks. Now this obviously does need a Wi-Fi connection, and the Wi-Fi connection is all done through this particular box itself. At the moment, as you can see, we have 4 little LEDs just there, and that is powering both the box as well as the headset. Alongside the Android side of things and this particular box, you can also plug it in your phone or any other USB-C device, and it will also work as well. So initially I did actually test it connected directly to my phone, and that worked perfectly fine. So as you can see, you can move the lenses out of the way quite easily, and then when you want to watch something, you just fold it back down and you have that image right there. Now for me at the moment, this is looking like there's probably around about, I would say maybe 20 or 30 inch screen just above where my camera setup is, and the further back you go, obviously the bigger the image looks. But for me, in my seated position, it never looks even close to what my 120 inch screen looks like. So I'm not getting that sort of 100+ inch screen, but the one thing I will say about it is it works really, really well for what it is. So the image is really bright, it's really vivid, even with ambient light on the sides. So if I turn all the way around, at the moment I'm getting glare from the actual window on that side, and I can still see the image perfectly fine. Now if you do go into a darker room, that's probably where you want to make use of that brightness slider and actually turn it down a bit. Just taking the headset off for a second, let's just take a quick look around it. So on the front you do have some branding. On the sides you have these little dials that you can use to actually focus in each lens, so each side has its own focus dial. On the top you have a few buttons. So if I put it this way around, this is your volume slider just there, or your volume rocker. You have your 3D button, which is just there, and then this is your brightness slider. Okay, so this button on the top is to lock the lenses. So once you've set your distance, you push that over and it will lock it in that position. It also means that when you're traveling, you can lock it and it won't extend open by mistake. On the bottom you do have a little QR code. I'm not sure what that's actually for because I've not been able to get it to scan for anything. The strap itself is adjustable, so it's just Velcro, so you just peel this up and you can adjust both sides of the strap, and this headband is magnetically attached, so you can actually remove that and either clean that up or replace it if it becomes damaged over time or if it loses some of its padding. It does add a little bit of weight, so depending on how you've actually got this, so all of this does have some give to it. Obviously the leather parts of the strap don't, but this part does, as well as the padding does as well. So when you've got it on your head, it does, depending on how you've actually got this balanced, it does add a little bit of weight. So ideally you want to use this when you're in a seated position, but you can use it whilst moving around, and it's not too heavy to where it's going to cause you too much of an issue. Now the only real downside I see of this particular product is if using with your phone, it does cane the battery quite quickly. So at the moment, obviously we've had it powered up for roughly around about maybe 10 minutes, just over 10 minutes, and the battery on this particular unit is still fully charged, and that's powering both this wireless Android unit as well as the actual headset itself. If you do connect it directly to your phone, what I found was running iOS 18 beta version on my phone. It used roughly around about 2 or 3% within, I would say maybe 10 to 20 minutes worth of usage. Obviously, I was just having a play about with it when it first arrived, and that was the first USB-C device I could actually grab and test it out with. Overall, I think a combination of all of these three products put together is a really cool sort of ecosystem where you've got everything that you need just here. So if you want to just consume content, you can do it straight through this Android unit. But obviously you do have that option where you can connect it to your phone, and then you've got access to anything that you have access to on your phone as well. And it does mirror the phone. So obviously you're not losing the screen on the phone. You can continue to use the phone whilst also making use of that additional screen. As I say, for me, this doesn't look anywhere near close to a 100-inch plus display, but that could just be down to how I've actually got it set. If I bring it closer to my eyes, it doesn't necessarily make the image any bigger. It's more just in terms of if I was looking at that wall, then yeah, it fills almost half of that wall. But I know what a 100+ inch screen looks like, so for me it's never going to look like a 100-inch screen. Maybe some of their other headsets do actually perform slightly differently, so maybe I'll reach out to GOOVIS again and see if they're willing to send me some of their sort of virtual reality headsets which do cover all of your vision, and obviously that would be much closer to the eyes and it'll give you a much more immersive image. This is specifically designed so then you're not in that zone. It's designed so then you can use this alongside still having some peripheral vision around you, and you can still kind of get an idea of your surroundings without losing all peripheral vision. Just taking a look at some of the other parts of this, so in terms of the USB adapter, here you can see you do have two inputs. So you have one for DC in, and then you have a Type-C. So if you did want to power this and connect any other HDMI device, because that's all this is just a HDMI connection, and you can basically connect anything to this. In terms of the Android box, this is very cool. I've never really seen anything like this before, where you literally have Android in a box on the go. Now, the one thing that you do still need, obviously, is a internet connection. You need some sort of a Wi-Fi connection. You can make use of your phone's hotspot, but then you may as well just be connected to your phone directly. This at home, once I've connected it to my home's Wi-Fi, it just automatically connects and it just works. So yeah, there is that. And obviously, because it's Android, you can literally install any app that you want from the Play Store. I've not been able to download anything just from a browser just yet, but obviously most apps that most people are going to use are on the Play Store anyway, so that covers pretty much most of what you're going to need. Yeah, so overall, I just want to say a massive thank you to GOOVIS for actually sending this out, and hopefully I can check out some more of their products in the future. What I will do is I'll have a link to their website in the description below. If they do give me any type of special discount codes or anything, I'll put that in the description below as well. If you haven't already done so, please do subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any future videos. And I'd really appreciate if you can also give this video a thumbs up. It will help the video reach more people, and obviously it's kind of a little thank you to GOOVIS for actually providing this for review in the first place. And until the next one, thanks very much for watching.